Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to deal with survey calculation under transverse calculations. So this is a building and civil engineering course. So the question as what has been written there. So the table below is an extract from the transverse computation between two fixed points K1 and K2 whose coordinates are given below. So those are the north and the easting. Then we have the table below having all the values. So we have the ones on the column for the lines, the length, and the coordinates of the easting and the northing. Yeah, so the first question, so evaluate the accuracy of the transverse. Then the second question, using the Bowditch method, determine the adjusted coordinates of P1 to P4. So first of all, we find the total length. As you can see there, when you add from K1 to K3, we get 823.99. Then add all the adjusted coordinates. So those are the latitudes from P1 to P4. So having found out all the values, then we find that we have a value which is negative 0.08, which is more for that. Then we come to the eastings, we do the same up to the lower value, which is P4. So having found the value of P4, we find that we have a lesser value to what we are supposed to get. So in addition, we need to find that error and eliminate it. So we continue, we find the frictional error. Then after the frictional error, we are supposed to correct the nothings. So we start by correcting the line K1 to P1. So we find the length, of which is 178.8, then over the total value, which is supposed to be 823.99, then plus the corrected error, which is a positive of the value that we had gotten, because when we had 0.08, so in order to correct it to find a 0, we add the value and we have the correct answer. So we move from P1 to P2, we do the same and we find the correction. Then we move from P2 to P3, we do the same by correcting it with a positive of 0.08. Then we do it to P3 to P4. Then from P4, then we get the same thing up to K3. So we move from the correction of the northing to the correction of the easting. We apply the same principle that we had done from K1 to P1. So we have the length of the given line, then over the total, then times the corrected, of which the correction is a negative 0.06, because in order for us to have the corrected one, so we need to neutralize it to 0 in order to correct the values that we had gotten from the earlier coordinates for the easting. So we move from P1 to P2. Also we do the same from P2 to P3. We also do the same. Then from P3 to P4 we do the same. Then we have the last one from P4 to K3, we do the same and we get our corrections. So all the corrections there are all negative. So here on the last table, we book all the values that we have gotten. So, and we make this table. So we start with the lines. We do the column for the lines. Then after the lines, we are supposed to find the correction. So that is the corrected easting and the correction of the northing. So on the table we form at least 4 more columns for the correction, for the corrected value, for the coordinates, and the last one will be for the stations. So in the correction we have the adjusted coordinates for the easting and the northing. So from our correction in the calculations, we will input all the values from the previous calculations. So and then we'll put the corrected values. Then we have the coordinates for the easting and the northing, of which that's where our question lies in. Then the last column will have for the stations. So having completed the drawings, we'll start inputting all the values from the previous calculations for the correction in easting and for the correction in northing. So we'll just copy what we have calculated from our previous. So from K1 to K3. Then all the values that we have from K1 to K3, the small corrections will come and will correct the values that we had on our previous table. We will minus and will add from what the values has entailed. Then we will put the corrected coordinates for the northing and the eastings. So as you can see there, we are using our previous table. Then we'll add the corrected value for the northing and for the. So we are going to start from the given corrected. So in the easting we'll start from K1, of which we had been given. Then we add the values that we have from the corrected section of the table. So we'll add each value until we get our last corrected coordinate for all the northings and the eastings. So as you can see, we will have values that are similar from what our question had given us in the original. So having completed, we have our stations from K1 to K3, of which we have gotten all the coordinates as per the Bowditch method, which we'll see in another example too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see each other in another video.